I'm Teresa's oldest daughter. A couple of months ago, I was having a conversation with my mom about the upcoming anniversary. I was telling her how proud I was and how excited I was to celebrate her achievements. She humbly deflected and said this night is not about her, but about the organization and everything that it has accomplished in the past 20 years. And while I agree, the legacy of Women's Co-op is very impressive, it is also that, a legacy, her legacy. So if you don't mind, my siblings and I would like to take a few moments to make this night about her, just a little bit.
Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Dylan. Bear with me, this might get rough. Hope is a very powerful emotion. The definition of hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Being hopeful is a feeling or inspiring optimism about a future event, and hopeless is a feeling or causing despair about something. In the beginning, we lived a very co-op lifestyle before it was ever a cool thing to do. My room was the walls in the kitchen, and our living room was a daycare center throughout the days and nights. I felt like I could never escape it. At the same time, I was always happy and never hungry, so I never really noticed how annoying it was to have all these crazy women around me all the time. Until one day, I'm getting off the bus and from school, and here comes Jamie Payne, my Aunt Missy, my mom, and many other co-op members, with their faces painted and banging on plastic cans while on the hoods of each other's cars. They wanted to make that day special. It was my birthday, we didn't have very much, but it was special for me. Life was moving fast, and we were changing with it. I upgraded to my sister's walk-in closet for a room. While my mom was changing lives, helping women and mothers of Calhoun County, laying her legacy in the community, she was also being a mother and father for me. We still live a co-op lifestyle, but we always made the best of every moment, like playing cards in the candlelight when the power went out. My mom turning out the role of both male and father, or father and mother, made her a cycle breaker in my life. Her influence empowered me to reach my full potential, making me the first to traditionally graduate high school, and now I have come full circle as a male case manager for the men of Women's Co-op, breaking cycles and teaching those values that my mom instilled in me so long ago. So I would like to say, Mom, thank you. For me and so many others, we have always represented what a real beacon of human hope, or a real beacon in a human form of what hope is, always giving me a hand up and not a hand back. Thank you.
Unfortunately, my sister Sarah was not able to come in for this event, but she has prepared a speech.
Thank you all for gathering to celebrate the incredible work of a woman who has changed lives of so many, my mother. For the past 20 years, she has been at the heart of the Women's Co-op, creating opportunities and fostering a sense of community that has empowered women to change their lives and the lives of their families. Her impact is immeasurable, and I'm honored to share a few words about it. Growing up, my mother taught me a lesson that has become a guiding principle in my life: the difference between living and how living and life. She didn't believe in just helping people survive their hardships. She believed in equipping them to overcome, survive, and to break the cycles that held them back. And she didn't just talk about it, she lived it. She is a cycle breaker in our own family, in our community, and through her life at Co-op. She has shown that breaking free from the past is possible in believing in a person's potential and their future. I owe so much of who I am today to her mother. Her heart for nonprofit work has been passed on to me, and now I am proud to allow my passion daily by supporting single mothers and furthering their education. This passion didn't just develop overnight. It's been nurtured by her experience, by watching her heal herself year after year to help others. She showed me the power of community and the importance of giving back, not just as a duty, but as a privilege. When I faced my own challenges becoming a teen parent, she stood by me, not with judgment or telling me to support. Her loving guidance during that time were crucial to me. Once I became a member of Women's Co-op, I was surrounded with support. I was able to get the resources I needed, such as diapers, wipes, and other toiletries. I built friendships and was able to give back through volunteering, which which made me part of the network of strong women working together. I've witnessed firsthand the strength and solidarity this organization brings to women at all stages of their lives. Co-op isn't just an organization to my mother. It is a living testament to her belief in people and the ability to change the world when given the right support. She has poured her heart into this work, and the countless women and families who have been touched by her efforts are a testament of her legacy. Mom, your dedication, compassion, and vision have inspired me and so many others. You've created a ripple that will last for generations to come. Thank you for showing us all what it means to give a hand up, to break the cycle, and to lead with love. Thank you.
I read a quote once that said, "The greatest legacies are built by the collective efforts of many hands, hearts, and minds." I would like to start by taking a moment to thank my Aunt Melissa Young for being a best friend when my mother needed it the most, and for believing in this beautiful vision from the start. I would also like to thank my favorite girl, Valerie Whitney, for believing in this organization and in my mother. She has been my mother's right-hand man and best friend every day since coming on board. But there are so many people in this room and in this community that have contributed to building this legacy. And if I were to name all of you, I could easily fill this allotted time just singing the praises of your amazing support. Please know that you are all seen. I am grateful for your efforts, and I am grateful for the ways that many of you have shaped and influenced me. Now, I would like to honor and highlight the woman who has not only shaped me, but also shaped my future. She has completely altered the course of my life because she has worked so hard to alter the course of her own. Teresa Mahoney Young, you are a cycle breaker. You've spent the last 20 years changing your story, breaking down your barriers, battling your demons, and paving a way for everyone around you to do the same. From our very humble beginnings, when my sweet mother whispered to her splashy and weird-shaped baby that she would love me, even if no one else ever did, Mom and I have always been each other's lifeline. We survived her addiction, abusive relationships, and life's ups and downs together. Our bond was strong, but flawed at times. We enabled and hurt each other, but my mom's love for me has never wavered. She is one of my favorite people in the entire world. So as you can imagine, when I was becoming a young woman myself, I was following right along in her footsteps. 20 years ago, we were living in the trailer park around the infamous kitchen table you've all heard about. I was 18, pregnant, and engaged to an emotionally abusive and manipulative man. I had dropped out of high school and opted for my GED with no real sense of direction for my life. And honestly, I was pretty content with wherever it was headed. When Women's Co-op started, I became a staff member, and if this were a Hallmark movie, that would have been enough. Not in my life would have been instantly changed, and bam, generations to come would have been fixed. But it didn't quite happen like that. Parts of my mother's life were changing, but many others stayed the same. My mother was so good at seeing these women and loving them where they were at, but not so good at extending the same love and grace to herself. She was inspiring in the ways that she pulled these women from the mire and set them on a better path, yet still followed her own broken path home each night. An executive director with no experience, she was doing things that others hadn't even thought of. She was often praised for thinking outside of the box and questioning, why do we need a box at all? But behind the scenes, her self-doubt was nearly crippling at times. I can still remember all those long ago phone calls when she would cry and ask me, why did she think she could do this? She spent years faking it till she made it and pushing through the anxiety and fear that would threaten to overtake her at the onset of every large meeting or big event. But over time, something began to shift. I cannot pinpoint exactly when the changes began or even what the catalyst was. I can only remember the awareness that something was changing in her. She left her broken marriage and decided that she loved herself and her potential too much to stay stagnant any longer. She sought counseling and self-help books, and I watched her do the hard work of not just managing her anxiety and self-doubt, but banishing it from her life. She sought experts and learned how to be a nurturing parent so that she could teach others to do the same. She sought higher education, taking every opportunity to grow her knowledge and further this organization. She sought wise counsel and drew strength in numbers as she continued to build up a thriving community among us. And once again, I followed in her footsteps. I watched her overcome so much, and I knew that I could too. She was showing me how to take each step. I learned how to love myself because I watched her learn how to love herself. You see, as I said earlier, my mother's love for me has never wavered, but her love for herself was in short supply. And watching my mother struggle to love herself for so long was a bondage that I learned how to chain myself into as well. But when she broke her chains, my own shackles began to fall. I spent 3 years alone, learning to break my own bonds and loving myself so that someday someone else would love me too. Which led me down the path to the most magnificent man who loves me the way I deserve every day. I attended her parenting classes and learned techniques that would lay a much different foundation for my children, building a stronger future for our generations that will follow. I went to college. I addressed my fear of failure and really applied myself in things I felt passionate about. I came and worked at Co-op 3 more times because I just really love this mission and you can't keep me away. So you see, it's what you didn't see that I celebrate tonight. It is easy to look at Teresa and be impressed that she became an executive director with almost no college experience. It is equally easy to be impressed with the fact that despite the many times Co-op has stood on the precipice of closing their doors, she has never stopped fighting and succeeding to keep them open. She has woven a legacy of families reunited, homes acquired, jobs secured, lives forever changed. But selfishly, I am proudest of the legacy she has created in her own family. She was born into a cycle of abuse and neglect, chained to generations of despair. No one taught her how to break this cycle. In fact, the world often told her it was impossible, but she said no. It ends with her, and it has. We are better each day because of who she is. This community is better because of who she chose to be. I'm so excited to see what the next 20 years will bring. Congratulations to Women's Co-op, and thank you to my mother.